Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The 31st Annual Testicle Festival, Saturday, June 15th at Round the Bend Steakhouse, just off I-80, exit 426. Swing out 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for music, fireworks, and, of course, nuts. Visit roundthebendsteakhouse.com for more.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through June 11th is buy 3 ribeyes, get 1 ribeye free. Also, $1 off all brands of crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Network Partners in Lincoln reminds us throughout the history of our country, our armed forces have risked their lives to protect our freedom. They and their families have sacrificed so we can live in peace, and not just us, but our children and grandchildren as well. Let's thank our troops and veterans and keep them in our prayers. May our troops be safe, and may God bless America. This from Network Partners in Lincoln. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by Nebco. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Oh, I love that part.
Welcome in.
Welcome
It's On the Block. You're Erick Strickland singing.
to the dark side.
Nah.
Luke,
No.
I am your father.
Hey, to be fair, you got the red, I got the blue. I'm just saying. Is this episode, are you going to cut my hand off like Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
That's what's happening?
Luke, I must teach you the dark side.
I'll never join you.
That was wait, say that again.
I'll never join you.
You sound like a Muppet character or something.
I did what I could. I was trying to be like whiny teenager, like
okay.
Mark Hamill in
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
What's up? How was your weekend,
do we
my
know
boy?
how old Luke was in Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, Luke had to have been 21, 20.
Let's see.
Empire Strikes Back, because he had to be his
Luke
teens.
is 19 in A New Hope and 22 in The Empire
See,
Strikes Back.
Stricky knows what time it is. I'm dropping stuff.
Okay,
Stricky knows what time it is.
So Luke would have just graduated college, be on his way to graduating college in Empire Strikes Back, and he lost his hand.
Do you,
bad.
Megan? What's up on the board? How are you? You can just wave. I think Megan would have been a good combo for Luke.
Well, she's not his sister, so it's already better.
Yeah, I think because whenever he was doing all his magic, she could have sprinted around the stormtroopers.
Hey,
and
look
then
at
got her from the
distraction.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Flash.
I get it. Yeah,
Like the woman version of Flash. You could have helped out Luke a lot. Yeah,
she's shaking her head no, but we know what's up. We know the truth. Yeah, weekend was good. Played some beach volleyball. I'm very stiff,
Word.
very sore. Little man got to the zoo for the first time.
Did you get any blocks or kills?
I have a front row body with a back row skill set. How about that?
You're a libero at heart.
Pretty close.
Okay.
Which I did not expect. My eyes got so big on a couple overpasses, but as soon as my eyes got big, I mishit. I sent a couple way long, sent a couple off the side of my hand. You get that meatball just right down the middle of the plate. Like, oh, it's my
That's the
time.
one.
It's coming. And then you swing too hard and you foul it off.
Yeah.
That was kind of my front row experience.
Wow.
And my issue with the blocking, like in my head, that's going to be my favorite part of volleyball.
Yeah.
But the passing isn't good enough, right? It's hard to time it up when the passing is so suspect on the other side of the net.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
So,
we're good.
I'm very sore,
I'm
though.
glad.
So,
Well, I'm sore too. I had a good workout this weekend.
attaboy.
After golf, I said I've got to go to this gym just to kind of work it out because otherwise I'd been stiff as a board. But we won.
Nice. Go team ticket.
Team ticket got that dub sack.
Stricky with that carry.
Yeah, hey, no, I just let with that contribute.
There you go.
I contributed
Your plus minus was 7.
to the call.
You're good.
I did. I made a putt or two.
Way to go.
I showed
My
him where
guy.
the putts were. I hit a couple on a dime. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Couple drives here and there.
Yeah.
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 It was good teamwork. Teamwork make the dream work. Shout out to Jay Foreman, that is.
Yeah.
Brian and
Shaky
Jakey.
Snaky. There you go.
Yeah.
Go team ticket.
Let's get it.
Let's go to break here. We went long in the crossover with Ruco. There's good stuff. We'll talk about the Celtics and the Mavs. What's happened in these first two games? Is there a chance for Dallas to make this interesting? Is Boston inevitable? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Dan Hurley turning down the Lakers. Then there are only two conferences represented at this year's College World Series. It'll be the SEC and the ACC. What does that mean for the future of college baseball? Is there a bigger power difference, power imbalance between the top two conferences in college football and college baseball? All of that and plenty more is on our minds. This is On the Block, brought to you by Nebco. Visit nebcoinc.com to learn more about how their operations span the state of Nebraska. They've been supplying the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways since 1908. 402-464-5685. Give us your favorite thing you did this weekend on the text line or on the comment section on stream. We'll get to that. Talk some NBA Finals next.
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska.
Network Partners in Lincoln reminds us throughout the history of our country, our armed forces have risked their lives to protect our freedom. They and their families have sacrificed so we can live in peace, and not just us, but our children and grandchildren as well. Let's thank our troops and veterans and keep them in our prayers. May our troops be safe and may God bless America. This from Network Partners in Lincoln. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you look at Nebraska baseball, I mean, a 40-win season, best pitching in the Big Ten, above average offense for the Big Ten. You go to regionals, far and away the best pitching staff, but a good half a run below even the third worst offense in that regional. When you look at Nebraska baseball, is that a program that needs to improve the pitching first or the lineup first to be able to make more of a dent in the postseason?
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We go first to our text line. Brian H. says, I went to the Royals-Mariners game on Friday, the 10-9 Royals walk-off, which as a Mariners fan was heartbreaking. Brian, what a show. What a show you witnessed. Royals are down 7-0 before they come to bat on Friday. Daniel Lynch gets rocked. But they hang in there. They claw back, make it 8-8 or 9-8. Then they come up big in the bottom of the ninth. So Brian, I don't know if you remember this game from a couple of years ago. Royals 13, Mariners 12. Mariners got up 9, right? Not just by 7. Mariners got up 9 on the Royals, who scored 11 in the 6th inning. Royals ended up winning that game 13-12. I was at that one with my Mariners fan cousin. We went, I don't remember if it was the night before or the night after we went to a game, and we saw that comeback as well. So those two teams always play at least one weird game per series at Kauffman. So, hey, I'm glad you made the trip to Kansas City. Nice stadium. Sorry, not sorry about the result. Stricky, NBA Finals, 2-0 in favor of Boston. What are just kind of your overall takeaways from these first two games? Let's start with the Mavericks down 0-2.
Well, you can say they played better. They learned some lessons. They made some adjustments. Got off to a pretty good start. Was in this game. And then it was some turnovers. Luka goes for a triple-double once again, but it's a triple-double with 8 turnovers. And that's, and you're the most ball-dominant guy outside of Kyrie, who goes for 6 and 2 on the turnover, but they didn't shoot the ball well once again. I mean, both teams shot terribly from 3. Both were pretty much the same from 2, not much in the possession department. I think the difference in this game happens to be at the free throw line, unfortunately. Not that it was a huge discrepancy, but the discrepancy is Boston comes up, steps up, and knocks down 95%, going 19 for 20. And the Mavs, who had every bit of opportunity as the Celtics did, they shot 24 times and they shoot for 66%. I mean, you're looking at 8 free throws and you lose by 7.
8 missed free throws and how many turnovers?
And your total turnover number for the Mavs was 15.
Woo.
And only 10 for Boston. But they were turnovers that turned into something on the opposite side of things. Wasn't that Tatum's going crazy or going nuts.
No.
It's not that anybody outside of Drew Holiday, and that's it. They're having that extra guy on their team step up, whereas the Mavs right now at this point are getting good balance, but they're not having that Kyrie moment where they need him to be like he played in the Minnesota. But it's something about him being, I don't know if it's the nervousness. I don't know if it's going back into that environment again. There's something that you can tell he's not playing with the same confidence that he did when he was playing in his previous series.
Rico asked me that on the happy hour. I think you're a good person to flip that question to as well. Is it something mental about Kyrie being back in Boston? Do you think there's something going on between his ears? He's putting too much pressure on himself. He's thinking too much about the outside stuff. Or is it just that Boston's perimeter defense has been that good with Holiday and White on him?
I can tell you from experience that there's periods of time when, like, for example, when I've gone back and played in Dallas against Dallas, that I press because you want to show them, you screwed up letting me go or whatever. And there can be a press about you. You know what I'm saying? A hunt that, yes, you do that, but it's more in, your mental confidence is still there. You're not like, I'm trying to show you, I want to do something to just give them that shut up moment. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going in on him, obviously. We hate Kyrie. I don't know if they said hey, but they're saying stuff about Kyrie, and they're pretty boisterous about it.
Yeah.
And you can tell that there's a press. There's that press, and some of the shots that he would normally make, it doesn't seem like he's releasing them at peak. So when you have that press, you want to like perfect your form. In your mind, you're like, is my form off? You want to hold it just a little bit longer to make sure, you got it in shooting pocket. You're holding it to shoot, and you're shooting on the way down. Those are some of the things I'm noticing out of Kyrie right now. And he's just got to get back to just playing with that freedom and that free flow that he's normal. Now, here's the other part. The difference between Boston and Dallas is there are other guys, your Derek Whites, your Pritchards, your Hausers, they're getting looked and they're shooting. Like they're not hesitating. I mean, you can tell they're shooting with premium confidence from all their leaders. From Brown, you can tell there won't be any animosity about the shot. But like Kleber, who's very capable.
Yeah.
You can tell he has a nervousness because he gets the ball and he begins looking around and he'll be wide open and he's capable. So you're having guys like that, Jones, sometimes they're not shooting with that same confidence. Even PJ Washington that they have been shooting. And it could be attributed to, this is the finals, baby. This is the biggest show. And they haven't had that experience on the other half. Boston has.
Right. Kyrie has, but like you said, he's probably pressing a little bit up there in
just
Boston.
Because of the team.
But, right.
Yeah.
A couple stats that back up what you're saying. Luka has made the most threes through 2 games in the finals. No other Maverick has made multiple 3-pointers. Luka's got 8. Nobody else has more than 1. The flip side, White 7, Holiday and Tatum 4, Horford and Brown 3, Porzingis and Hauser 2 for Boston. Like you said, those aren't mind-blowing numbers. They're not great, but 8 for Luka, nobody else with more than 1 is a problem. Scoring leaders in the finals. Luka's averaging the most points per game, 31 points an average across the 2 games. Boston has the next 5 highest scorers in the series. There's that balance there for Boston where all 5 players that are on the court can make a play with the ball, are not afraid to shoot the ball. Do you think that Boston's 2-0 lead is because their personnel is better or has been better, because their schemes are better, or were they prepared by making the finals 2 years ago?
Very much prepared, and they're chasing championship. You can tell by the way that they're playing. It's not about me. It's not about what I need to do or what I can't. I think even Tatum has come to a realization, yes, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, but he almost goes for a triple-double himself. 12 assists, only 3 turnovers. In the past, Tatum kind of was a turnover machine.
Normally that's 5, 6, 7 for him.
Him and Brown are usually, and Brown is up there. Brown had 6. And, so normally between the both of them, there's some turnovers in there. But the fact he goes 12 and 3, that ratio is phenomenal for a guy of his caliber. Only scores 18 points, but he was finding Drew Holiday and guys like that on cuts, and he knew where guys were going to be. It was good to see out of it. It shows his growth. Like shots that he was probably taking that would be bad shots was providing good looks for the team because of getting downhill, and finding the next guy and willing to make the next pass instead of taking it doesn't look like this Boston team is really taking bad shots. They've missed shots, but it's not like they're taking bad shots.
They're getting the shots they want for the most part, which on the flip side, Dallas isn't always doing, right? Dallas hasn't had a lot of opportunities to throw lobs at the rim, and they haven't generated a lot of corner threes like they did at, a league best or near league best rate in the regular season. Here's another stat, Strick.
Pause. Let me just say this one thing before the stat. Luka, right? This is one thing I can appreciate for Luka. Luka basically spoke about his performance where he says, my turnovers and my missed free throws cost us the game. I've got to do better in those two categories. That's good leadership. That'll go a long way for the future. Even though you're actually playing some good ball outside of what he didn't throw any of his teammates under the bus. So that's good. And that will both fail as they take their way into the AAC for game 3 and 4.
Okay, let's rewind 2 or 3 years before I give you the stat. Let's say the Mavs make the finals because Luka's put a lot on his shoulders, right? Let's say Luka goes on a superhuman run and takes the Mavs to the finals 2 or 3 years ago, and then his teammates play like this in the finals. Do you think we get the same comments out of Luka 3 years ago as we do today? Or do you think he's grown and matured to a point where maybe he's internally frustrated, but knows he has to put on that good face for the media?
Yeah, I think he's learned a lot because I think early on, I have seen some frustrating comments and demeanor out of him towards teammates. So you can definitely tell that he's learned, and he'll give it his best again. He'll expect more out of his team, but he's got to instill in them confidence to take the shots that they've been taking and making over the stretch run of this playoff.
The stat I was going to give you, 6-0. Boston 6-0 when Jason Tatum shoots below 40% field goals these playoffs, right? That's balance. That's a team effort. We have a call on our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Let's go to the phones. Let's welcome in Chris on the phone line. Chris, how are you this afternoon?
Oh, great. So, Tatum's okay. He's not a superstar. He's taken more shots than anybody else in the series. 6 for 22 yesterday. If he's hitting anything, it's a blowout. He's just blessed that he's kind of a B+, maybe an A- on a really good night star. And they've also got 2 other B+, A- type of stars. And then they've got that dude that shuts down Kyrie. His name's escaping me.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday shuts down, sits him down. And so they're basically up against one dude. He's just not that impressed. Tatum's okay. He's a good all-around player, but he's not getting max-type money for assists and rebounds. That's just not the way the NBA works. It works by being the alpha dog, the top dog, and he's not an alpha dog. There's no doubt about that. He is just not an alpha dog. He's, a B+, A- player, fortunate to be on a team that's really drafted well and been able to put pieces together and grow players and develop them. 6 for 22 is really pathetic. That's bad. And he had 6 turnovers game 1 and, 3 yesterday isn't great. Your good ball handlers average between 2 and 3 turnovers a game. So that's kind of at the high end of that. I've just never been impressed with Jason Tatum. I don't know, but he's a good ball player. He's very good, not great, but, for the amount of shots he's taken, he needs to be scoring more points, taking more shots than anybody else. That's all I got.
Chris, appreciate the call. Thanks for chiming in here. Stricky, what do you think?
Well, I've always said Jason Tatum is a good player. I think, if you're trying to make him the face, no, he's not that. I don't think he's that. But I think he's good. I think he's good. I think it reveals itself once he gets into this playoff. I think he's shown he's gotten better for me in some areas. But to me, I've seen Jaylen Brown's game kind of go to another level, whereas I've seen Tatum still be solid, but you can definitely see it. For me, I can see an elevation in one game compared to the other.
That's fair. I think Tatum is a deserving first-team All-NBA guy, right? He was probably one of the top 10 players in the league this year. He's probably a top 10 player in the league. But I think Jason Tatum has the same problem, but has figured out how to work it that KD hasn't, right? KD thinks of himself as an alpha. KD thinks of himself as the lead dog, as the bucket getter. And that's what Jason Tatum was coming into the league. Boston wanted to build around him. His scoring prowess, his ability to attack the rim and hit from three, handle a little bit. He's grown into a good defender. He's made strides as a passer. And I found a couple tweets here from Matt Moore, who writes for, I believe it's Clutch Points, I want to say, or Action Network. Sorry, Action Network. He says, Tatum was better in game one than his box score shows, did the things that help you win. He's not the system. That's okay. He's not controlling the game this season as much as he did last season. That's okay. It's helped him win, but he's not bearing as heavy a load as other guys. Here's the next tweet then that I think really summed up the difference between like a Jason Tatum and a Luka, for example. Tatum is a driving force. He's just not as much of a driving force as a lot of guys are. He's also better than a lot of those guys. And honestly, I view his willingness to not have his hands on the wheel all the time as a huge advantage. The reason most teams play heliocentric, so one guy controlling the ball quite a bit, is that's what their star wants. Think Harden on the Rockets. Think Embiid on the 76ers. Then their role players struggle, and we say they don't have enough help, when if you play the right way, everyone looks good. We mentioned Luka leading the finals with 31 points per game. The next 5 high scorers are Celtics. So no, Jason Tatum's not scoring 30 points. Yes, he's been inefficient, and he needs to be better. But I think Jason Tatum has picked his own path, right? Where he has a much better feel for the game, and he's doing a lot more of the little things that maybe some of those big level superstars that put up gaudy numbers aren't as willing to do.
Is that a rhetorical?
I just want your reaction. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's solid. It's plausible. I think it's all of that. So there's nothing really for me to retort against that. I think that's, I envision and see it the same way. And this is the thing that I think would have been tested. I think, like I said, the return of Porzingis makes their defense even that much more better because this is what I talked about on the radio show down in Dallas. I said, there's a difference between what we're seeing in the defense between Boston and Dallas. Dallas is capable. What messes up their original system is a lot easier to deal with when you have Gobert. Totally different to deal with Porzingis.
Yeah.
They're trying to do what was done to Porzingis and why he had with Dallas a very poor outing the last year he was with Dallas. They're trying to be physical. They're trying to punk him. They're trying to go after him. And I think Porzingis learned a huge lesson, similar to what Dirk learned when Golden State tried to do the same thing to him. So I talked about that part of it, but his return because of their defense. So the difference in what they're doing is when they see Luka at an advantage, they've been running guys late on his back dribbles, trying to back down Pritchard or trying to back down, any one of those guys. And they're shooting guys at him, and they've got a couple steals out of it. That's what they're trying to do with him. Same thing. They're coming late on Kyrie's drives, and it's forcing them to do certain things. They're going at any of those guys that are driving. You're seeing 2 and 3 guys, but the difference is when Boston does that, they're finding boom, boom, boom for open shots. The difference is Mavs are trying to go challenge or trying to go dunk, and they're trying to get fouls, and they're not getting them, and it's hurting them a little bit.
It really is. I'll add this maybe at the end of the segment here. Tatum might just be an 82-game guy. He's durable. He's dependable. He's consistent. Yeah, his lows are pretty low. The 6 for 22 isn't good, but he contributed in other ways, right? Whereas I think James Harden thinks he's a 16-game player, but his flameouts are magnified, when he's that much of the center of the system like he was in Houston. Yeah. But I think Jason Tatum and Boston understand that, which is why Jalen stepped up, why they went and got a guy like Porzingis, why having an experienced guy like Al Horford around, and even Drew Holiday with his finals experience, might be helping carry Boston through. Let's take a break. Let's wrap up hour one with some quick thoughts on Dan Hurley turning down The Lakers is that 2 wins for the Boston Celtics as Dan Hurley stays in the Northeast. We'll get into that to wrap up hour 1 of On the Block next. NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
All right, it's time for Final Jeopardy. It's been a tight contest today that all comes down to this final question. No summer picnic or family get-together or trip to the lake is complete without this particular item. Let's go first to Bob.
What is beer?
No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're barely into hour 2 of On the Block, but wrapping up hour 1, so we'll keep this short and sweet. Stricky, Dan Hurley, head coach of the UConn Huskies, will remain the head coach of the UConn Huskies. It was reported that he was being offered an 8-year, $100 million contract. Turns out the Lakers offered him 6 years and $70 million. His contract at UConn right now, 6 years and $50 million. Dan Hurley telling the Lakers no. Does that say more about the Lakers or more about UConn?
I personally think there had to have been some things within the organization that gave him a little bit of pause. You're talking about a significant pay difference. You're talking about having to rebuild something because you've lost 2 draftees, in probably Klingon and Castle, and what the players, who else? They had
Stephon Castle's gone.
Well, no, they had one other player,
Tristan
Newton, who was the
Caravan decided to come back.
Yep. So you lose Newton as well, and so you're basically in a rebuild. So I can understand the entertainment of possibly looking at the Lakers, but then you're looking at a rebuild there too, right? You're looking at going into one of the toughest conferences side. Now, we don't know if there's been communication between him and LeBron, what that communication like, if that was communication that even happened. We don't know that. So if that's not the case, if you're a coach and you're going in and you're not able to really have in-depth conversations with the top brass or the top dogs of the team, that would give me pause coming in, because that could mean a very short tenure. You know what I mean? It can mean a very short tenure. And if you just look at the track record of what has happened with the coaching carousel down with the Lakers right now, you can already see that there's a lot of instability there. And do you want to step into that space where, you go back, you're the king of your domain. When you go back to UConn,
right?
You probably still have at minimum 5 years just to work it out. Even if you have a downturn this year, you went back to back, you've got that at a minimum.
Right.
So it may be that it's a lot less headache. Yes, it's more money. And I always say, look, sometimes getting super raises or jumping ship from an organization because it's paying you more to go somewhere, there's still instability, and then it's a short-term deal. Sometimes, like for example, somebody can make $50 million in LA playing for the Lakers,
but it's really 25.
$50 million in Dallas. Yeah, no. So here you go. You get $65 million playing in LA, but only you get $50 million playing in San Antonio, right? Your money's longer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you say. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it may feel good to say 65, but at the end of the day, it's not always greener on the other side.
Right.
And so that could be something that he may be looking at.
If you're the Lakers, do you try to follow up with JJ Redick, or is that ship sailed and you're on an assistant somewhere?
He took his head out. I mean, you don't want a disgruntled guy feeling like he was the second option, because are they really going to give you all they got? Probably will still. I mean, I don't think he's built like that, but at the end of the day, it's not a good feeling when you're trying to talk to. It doesn't matter if you're getting married, dating, you're at the job, and you're the second or third option.
A very public number two.
I want this guy. Oh no, I found a better job over here. Oh yeah, well we were really thinking about you, but
Yeah.
No, that rubs people sometimes the wrong way.
For sure. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. We got Megan on the board. We'll go to break. Hour 2, focused on the college ranks. College baseball, we will have only ACC and SEC teams in Omaha as we're up at Blur events for the Blur tailgate party all throughout the College World Series. Is there a bigger power imbalance between the top 2 conferences in college baseball or in college football? We'll get into that and then get a Husker football recruiting update from Brian Munson of Husker Online in the second segment of Hour 2. Don't go anywhere. This is On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a lot of sunshine with light winds. An afternoon high around 84. Tonight, probably cloudy skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, probably sunny with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cook for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back to On the Block. Strick here and Austin Orman. It is a Manic Monday. We appreciate you guys for hanging along with us. NEPCO, who is our sponsor for this show, we appreciate them and their continued support as well. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, who puts up the video stream and where you can text us at 402-464-5685. We're grateful for them and their support as well. But we're going to dig into a topic now because right around the corner, we're going to be at a Blur. Going into the end of this weekend, it's going to be a fun time for the College World Series coming up. It was a great time last year. They put on a great show, so hopefully you'll be able to come down, check us out. We'll be there as well during the College World Series experience, so you can come down and check us out there. But in the meantime, in between time, what we have is there are only 2 conferences that are represented at the College World Series. This is the discussion, Austin Orman, that we have talked about on the football side of things, where we're talking about how super conferences have kind of come together. Is this one of those types of dynamics, or is it a little bit different in that SEC schools are dominating it, and now we're going to see a lot of ACC schools in there as well for this College World Series? But is it because of the weather? Is it because of the tradition of baseball programs in the South? Is it because they get to play a lot longer than most of northern schools? So people probably want to be there. They're getting a lot of opportunity to get a lot of baseball in throughout the year, a lot of practice being outside. Or is it just that it is what it is? It's just the power dynamic is there, but it's very similar when you're looking at football and baseball right now.
I think it's similar, but it's different, right? Because the big differentiator in football, Strick, is money, right? That's why we think of the Power 2 as the SEC and the Big Ten, because they're pulling in, 50, 70, $90 million per school per year. That is why we set those 2 schools apart. It hasn't necessarily been because the Big Ten's won a lot of championships. It's been SEC dominated, right? You think about, Michigan winning last year. That's the Big Ten's first national title since Ohio State in the 2014 season, in early 2015. Otherwise, it was Bama, Clemson out of the ACC, Bama, Clemson, and then 4 straight SEC titles. Now, I get it. That's just college football playoff era. But let's just go back to 2014 with baseball as well. For baseball in the College World Series in the finals, you had SEC, ACC, ACC, SEC, Big South versus Pac-12,
That was an unusual one.
SEC, SEC, Pac-12, SEC, SEC Big 10, SEC, SEC, SEC Big 12, SEC, SEC. We see who the power conference is in baseball. It's the SEC because of the weather, because of the tradition, because of the focus that they put on it. That makes sense. The ACC, I still think, is probably generally regarded as the second best baseball conference. You think about, all the teams that had great years. I mean, Florida State is on and through. Carolina has sprung up. It was there and through. Virginia has been good for a while. Some of the other teams from the ACC, their Wake Forest was preseason number 1. Duke popped into the top 10, maybe even top 5 at one point. Scrolling through the list a little further down, I think that's the majority of the ACC schools that were there. Georgia Tech made it, obviously. Clemson hosted, but then ended up losing to Florida. NC State still alive tonight as well. But the SEC, we know that it's the SECWS, or the CWSEC, however you want to phrase it. We know the SEC thinks of itself as the football power and as the baseball power, which is why I still think there's a bigger discrepancy in football, just because of the money. Because you look at, the Big South popping up here and there with Coastal Carolina and its run. The Pac-12 has had a really rich baseball history and tradition. Arizona's been good. Stanford, USC, UCLA, Arizona State have all been good. Oregon was a super regional team for a couple years now. Oregon State, obviously, goes without mentioning how good that program's been. So you look at that. The Big 12 has some really good baseball as well. Oklahoma's been solid. Oklahoma State probably carrying the banner. TCU's been really good at baseball for a while as well. K-State popped up and made a super. Not a great program, but probably emerging. I think it's still fair to say that there's more parity in college baseball, but I think that's just natural, right? I mean, you've watched enough football in your life, but you've played basketball and baseball. I feel like there's the most parity in baseball, compared to the NBA, where one guy can dictate a game, or the NFL, where talent advantages, become very clear very quickly. I'm glad that there's still a little bit of parity. There's still a little bit of room for an underdog, a Cinderella, a wild card in baseball in the College World Series, even if we're not going to get it this year.
Let me ask a question. If you're a baseball coach and you're a baseball connoisseur, KC is definitely your squad. So I'm gonna allow you to delve deep into this one, Pauls. So when you look at college baseball today, if you were a coach and you're in a perennial power conference, how are you building the makeup of your team defensively and offensively? So offensively, how are you building it? Run, guys that are putting just slapping, putting them moving, just guys that can hit all around the field, power. And then how are you doing it defensively as well? Like, how would you build it today?
I think it's got to be an athlete's game, which might sound weird for baseball. I think about being maybe a technical sport in the batter's box and how important mechanics are. But if you're an SEC team and your goal every year is to get to Omaha, that's a pretty big field. That's a pretty big park. I think athleticism tends to play pretty well at Charles Schwab Field. It helps having the best pitcher on the team, right? So I make sure I'm going to build a rotation and get a closer. I think that to me is the first step defensively. Then it's get the athletes, right? Dudes that can go get it. They can chase it down. There's a lot of grass out there. But I still think defense starts on the infield. With a big park, pretty much anyone should be able to track down the majority of fly balls hit there. If there's a ball in the dirt, you got to field it, right? Your infield has to be clean. You got to have a 98+% fielding percentage, I think, on the infield. In terms of the lineup, I still think you can get away with building for a little bit of power. LSU mashed its way last year. Florida now mashed its way last year, and then again here this year to the College World Series. But my preference and my style is because you're going to see the best of the best pitching, because you don't make it through a regional and super regional without enough pitching. If that's going to be the emphasis, if you're going to be able to mix and match guys much more freely in college than you can in the MLB with the 3-batter minimum or end of the inning rule, I like a gap-to-gap team. I really do. Maybe your 4 and 5 hitters have some pull power, can go oppo if they need to. But for me, 1, 2, and 3 are going to have to hit the ball gap to gap. 6, 7, 8, 9, have to be able to take a pitch the other way for a single, lay down a bunt if I need him to draw a walk.
Yeah.
I want really good approach out of 1, 2, 3. I want really good approach out of 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, if those guys want to swing for the fences and try to get balls to the wall, that's probably how I'm building my offense.
Okay. I like it. And when you're looking at it right now, so you expect there to be 2 SEC finals this year again?
See, I don't know.
As it was last year?
I hope not. We're still waiting one region or one super regional winner. It's NC State and Georgia tonight for that last spot in Omaha. We've got Tennessee, Florida State, Virginia, and UNC in one bracket. So three ACC teams in one bracket. I don't necessarily love how that's setting up, especially because Tennessee's probably the best team, right? They come in as the number 1 overall seed, and it's been a decent amount of time since the number 1 overall has had an easy time of it in Omaha. And
didn't they lose it last year?
Yeah, Tennessee tricked it off.
They tricked it
in
off.
The Supers didn't even make it to Omaha.
Yeah.
So I'm a little skeptical on Tennessee, but I'm not fully bought into Carolina. Florida State, I guess we'll see. I like Virginia. That's a program that's experienced, that's been here before, that builds up the middle, right? That's the other important part, right? We talk about baseball, how important it is to build up the middle. Have a brick wall of a catcher. Have, good starting pitching, good bullpen. Have athletic middle infielders, right? They can get to a lot. They can handle the bat well enough. And then a dude in center who just goes and gets it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important in a ballpark like TD Ameritrade. Kentucky, I'm curious to learn more about. Strick, they're making their first trip to the College World Series ever. It's an SEC team that hadn't made the College World Series. First time ever that they'll make it. Florida, probably the underdog by seed. But how about this, Stricky? Texas A&M comes to Omaha. How's that going to be?
Wow. Your boy.
He played closer to you. He's your boy. You know him. Don't you put that on me.
Your boy's on his way back
Don't you
home.
put that on me. That's your boy. That is straight up your boy, Stricky.
Wow. And so listen, it's still going to be exciting, man. Get your tickets. Come to Blur. Look, we had a great time at Blur last year.
Yeah.
If you've got an opportunity to experience that, I mean, you can play cornhole, and we played games and foosball and had some great drinks, and they had the mist machines out there, so it didn't matter how hot it was. You can get under the shade and get a little bit of mist. But it was just great fun, man. There's a bunch of people just having a great time. You got to see some of the fans that also got to participate and join in. LSU was a big one because they stand right next door there at the hotel. So it was pretty cool, man. Wake Forest was also solid. Their fan base was good. So we're going to get a chance to just have a great time. Come out there and enjoy it with us as well. Go to Blur events and really look to get some tickets there to come out. We'll be there.
That's the important part. That's the draw.
We'll
College World Series, boo, whatever. But we're there. Like Stricky said, blurevents.com /Omaha is probably the easiest way to do that. The Hilton Omaha, 10th and Cass. We are right there. We are obvious. It starts on Friday. That's the first day we'll be up there. And Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be there. The 14th through the 22nd. So the 14th and then the 17th through the 21st, I believe, is when we will be up there. North side of the Hilton. If you're going to the College World Series, first of all, we'd recommend you get your tickets, right? I think they still have the different levels of tickets. I know that's what they did last year. I think the 3 different levels of tickets that changes just how much food and drink you can get. Yeah, they have the $80, $110, and $130 packages for the 14th, the 15th, and the 17th through the 19th. So definitely hop in on that. The 16th and the 22nd at $60, $90, and $110. So our first recommendation is you hop in on that. Come see us, be a part of the party, hang out with us. We'll shake your hand. We'll talk with you, all that good stuff. If you can't find that in the budget, if you already ate before you came, well, shame on you. You missed out on that. But at least stop by, right? We're hanging out right there. You can reach over, you can tap us on the shoulder, say what's up. Yeah, I'll get our attention.
And beer.
Hot dogs, cookies, seltzers,
and Heinekens.
You name it.
It was whatever, man. And athletes. Shout out to Jay Foreman. Athletes will be there.
Wait, I thought you said athletes.
Yeah. No, the drink.
Right.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. I heard.
Yes, you heard. You heard. The athletes took effect.
The athletes
took effect.
They were athletic.
They were definitely athletic. Stricky began to hit a straight ball once I had a couple of athletes in the building.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Hey, glad you made it.
Yeah, I made it through. You gotta win.
Heck yeah.
I need to go take advantage of that. Shaky Jakey, I need my win. My gifts.
He didn't give you your gifts?
Shaky Jakey.
Keeping them for himself?
See what he doing.
Typical.
Early break. You know how they do it.
Early break.
Always. Yep. The early break guys.
Did early break make Jake that way, or did Jake make early break that way? That's the real question. Chicken or the egg? I
don't know. I think Shaky Jakey got definitely Bill Bush definitely fell under the Shaky Jakey rule. He just took all the benefits.
Corrupts everyone he touches.
Now, Sip, all you gotta do is just tell Sip, shut up, Simple, and you'll be all right.
You're good.
You're good.
John and Cortland, what up to you? Hope you're having a great day as well. Let's take a break. Let's talk to Brian Munson when we get back. What's going on in Husker football recruiting? We'll talk to Brian after this break.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
The Testicle Festival, Saturday, June 15th at Round the Bend Steakhouse off I-80, exit 426. Swing out 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for some testicle fun. Free admission for military personnel.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching.
With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a lot of sunshine with light winds and an afternoon high around 84. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, partly sunny with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cook for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, streaming worldwide on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then the state of Nebraska on Allo Channel 961. Appreciate Allo for their support of everything we do here at 93.7 The Ticket for Channel 961. Most importantly, most pertinent right now, the VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. It's a Monday at 3:30, which means we talk to our recruiting insider, Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, is it feeling like summer down there in Texas? It's been in the 80s, and I see 97 in the forecast for Lincoln. What's it like in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's steamy, man. I mean, we've gotten so much rain, and I was actually up in Nebraska this last week, and my son took part in the specialist camp on Saturday afternoon. He's a long snapper. He'll be a freshman this fall, so we wanted to kind of get up there and give him that experience. But it has been an incredibly wet spring down here, like unlike anything I've ever seen before. The lake I live off of is completely at capacity. In fact, it had been flooding a little bit, but now all the humidity is in the air. It is just absolutely awful outside. 85 degrees and 70% humidity. It's just, usually it's hot as an oven, but right now the humidity is great.
Well, I'm trying. I don't know how it's going to work out, but boy, I would love to get down for game 3 or 4. But we'll see how that. So you're saying I need to bring my umbrella, basically?
You need to dress really, really, really light, man. Like, you could forget the hoodie. Don't worry about it. It don't cool off at all. The ACs are already panting. So there's nothing down here right now except just being miserable. And when I stepped off the plane, bro, and you know this, I walked out of Dallas Love yesterday, and I just went, why couldn't I have taken that weather back with me from Nebraska?
Is it like Berlin on the song from Top Gun, Take My Breath Away?
It punched me right in the chest. I just wanted to turn back around. It was awful. It was terrible. So yeah, it's brutal, and y'all have got a really great thing going on up there right now. I mean, I know it was a little warm, I think, on Friday, but Saturday was just amazing to be outside at that camp that afternoon.
Yeah, Brian, how was your son's experience at the camp?
A little nervous. He had done the 2-day Coles kicking camp the weekend before, so we thought he'd be ready. But I think working out in Memorial Stadium and working out in Hawks really got him knock-kneed. He's named after a former Husker, and so he knows. He's very much kind of growing into his body finally. I mean, his body took off over the last 10 months. He must have grown 4 inches. So going into his freshman year, he's like 6'1.5", 195. But he played left tackle. Now he's getting the athleticism. So is he a tight end? Is he a defensive end? So we're just kind of holding him out. Like, we didn't do a Friday Night Lights camp. He's a deep snapper and been training very hard on that. So we're trying to keep him keep that part of his dream alive, and maybe that's enough to kind of fuel him into the next level. But we need to figure out like what position, the coaches kind of see him at. But I think the majority of it just rests on what his body does over the next couple of years.
Hey, fair enough. Well, we will make sure that we are tracking him because you're a recruiting guy. We will make sure we track him here in Lincoln as well. But let's turn our attention to Nebraska football recruiting, Brian. Big one recently for the Huskers. Pierce Mooberry from Millard North. What is the Nebraska getting in the in-state athlete?
Yeah, they're getting a guy that he's got a lot of upside. I mean, he's, when you put on the film, it's kind of ironic. My comparison for folks would be, I probably would compare him to Sean Fisher, the former Millard North linebacker. So has versatility, can play in space. He's the kind of guy that also could put on some weight. But I think Nebraska really sees him, playing in that space, getting onto a tight end. He's got great athleticism, and obviously he could be a Division I tight end. Some of his film from 7-on-7 this spring has been spectacular. Really has great body control, has great hands, so he could do a lot of different things for Nebraska at the next level from both sides of the football. But for my guess, though, however, is he remains on defense, and he's really that true kind of buck guy that can dump off into coverage, plays great in space, and obviously could get into a matchup one-on-one, and maybe take on a tight end if you need to do it.
Is that Isaac Gifford-ish at Rover? Or do you think he's more of the linebacker than the defensive back, more maybe Jack than Rover?
Yeah, so Jack to me is more that walk up outside 9 technique. More of a I'm trying to think here who I would kind of compare it to. I mean, obviously you had a couple guys playing it last year, like Lenhart and Prince Will, but and my mind's going blank. I'm trying to think of the defensive end, the outside linebacker that got picked by the Atlanta Falcons, played for a couple of years, came out of JUCO ball just down the road from me too. And I cannot, my mind has just gone blank this afternoon. So I really do feel like he's more of a drop back kind of guy. He's got some versatility to him. And I think that's what's going to make him very interesting to Nebraska. They don't seem to want a room that has the same person over and over and over again when it comes to skill set. They want a different looking dude. They want a guy that can do something a little bit differently than the other guy. And I think that really helps them out when it comes to game planning, when it comes to be able to, to kind of get guys to rotate in. But no, I think he's going to be something more like a buck linebacker, the guy that can drop off.
Let's flip over to the offensive side of the ball. Jamarian Parker seems like a big get for Nebraska. Let's start with just what does Jamarian Parker bring to the Nebraska football running back room?
Explosiveness. I think that's what it starts out, and I think that's kind of the perfect compliment to Connor Booth, not making a knock at all on him because, I think he averaged close to 10 yards a carry last season. Jamarian Parker averaged 11. Parker's fun to watch. He has great vision. He can see the play develop in front of him. He has that speed to get to the front edge on the zone reads and get in front of it and turn up fields. He also has the ability to hit the cutback. So it really fits what I think Nebraska is trying to do, with their offensive style, with the zone blocking up front, kind of stretching those guys out a little bit. He is a blur. He's an absolute blur on film. I think there's also some versatility there, not to keep reusing the same word going back to Mooberry a second ago, but I think with Parker, I think you get this ability also to kind of motion him out, maybe line him up as a slot, find different ways to kind of get him the football. I kind of self-described him a little bit as like a cross between Maurice Washington and Wandale Robinson. I think he's got great explosion. And I think that Nebraska can get him involved a number of different ways. And he's just kind of a guy that Nebraska doesn't have in the room currently. And again, that kind of goes back to speak to the Mooberry comment before. They want different looking dudes, and they definitely got one again in Parker.
The other part that I think was interesting about Jamarian Parker's commitment was the St. Louis element of things. Brian, there's a lot made on Twitter about how big of a deal it was. Does Nebraska have, or has Nebraska recently had legitimate struggles recruiting in St. Louis, or is that just overblown?
They have. There's been a lack of relevance there. I think part of that is because Nebraska doesn't play Missouri on the regular anymore. A difference in conference going back to the Big 12, and now the even further separation between the SEC and the Big 10. I think the other side of that is that Ohio State does incredibly well recruiting the St. Louis area. So does like Notre Dame. And so now that Missouri, is kind of in quote unquote SEC country, I think it makes it a little bit more difficult for Nebraska. Nebraska hasn't had an easy time really getting into Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City has been a little bit easier to fall, but St. Louis has been a complete and total challenge. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely means something that way as well. I mean, Keith Williams, who's on, I'm going to age myself here with you guys. And I mean, I talked to Keith in high school, but now he's on staff there under Matt Rule there in Lincoln. And it seems like one of his jobs is, as a recruiting guy, is he's really trying hard to find some guys in the St. Louis area that Nebraska is interested in and that are interested in playing for Nebraska. And I think that while things have looked good at times with some guys that just gone south for one reason or another, to get a guy like Parker out of his high school is a huge statement.
Talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line. If St. Louis is going to be a struggle, maybe Nebraska can, up the budget a little bit and keep heading over to Germany. I mean, David Hufkin comes over. Is this the start of an international pipeline for the Huskers, Brian?
Well, it could be. I mean, I think that there's really good, really good relationship kind of going with the folks that run that program that David is part of. This isn't the first year that Nebraska has had international players on campus, or actually hosted them at camps before. Last year they were actually in Lincoln. I think that this is a little bit of a growing trend, and obviously we all know that the American game of football is something that the NFL and others are trying to really push out there on the international scale. I think it's a game that's growing, abroad. So it's going to be very interesting. And obviously Nebraska played there a couple of years ago, and not to bring back any type of bad feelings about that one and squib kicking and all that good stuff. But I just, I think it's something to kind of keep in mind here as we see more and more the American type football getting picked up. There's a couple of leagues, it seems, over there in Europe. It seems like then these players sometimes relocate to the States to try to make their, get their Division I offer to make their dreams come true. And I think the other side of that is too, though, is when they don't and they stay abroad, that they also are able to kind of get back to the States and go to camp. And that's where Nebraska found David, obviously. And that's a monster. I mean, that's really an interesting story, not to having played for a couple, 3 years. He's 22 years old, 6'7", 255-ish, 260-ish, potentially figures in at offensive tackle. Really liked the way his body moved, though, when it came to him with his pass rush skills and really having some nice quickness off the edge, too. So I wouldn't go ahead and just throw in the towel on him being an offensive guy quite yet, but I think that's where Nebraska hopes things kind of end up with him, because he is a really, really good athlete for a guy that big.
You took the next question out of my mouth there. Offense or defense, offensive tackle makes sense with that size and that athleticism. Yeah. So let's look at it. A player on the opposite side of the ball, a defensive lineman in Jalen Williams, 4-star out of Illinois. Yeah. Again, big dude, 6'6", 270. Nebraska in his top 4, going against some SEC competition in Tennessee and Texas A&M, as well as the defending national champion, Michigan. Where does Nebraska sit with Jalen Williams before his official visit?
Well, it's not good. Jalen actually just announced his commitment to Michigan about 35 minutes ago.
Whoops.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, and trust me, it's not a it's not something I don't want to comment on, though, as a result, because I really, looking at Nebraska's board for defensive linemen, it's pretty thin now. Jalen had a terrific unofficial visit, earlier part of the year in January. And really, I think everybody was looking forward to him returning and seeing what else he had to kind of say about it. He did a recruiting spotlight with us, that's out there on YouTube that people can go back and listen to the interview on. But seeing the bad news today, like I said, 31 minutes ago, he announced it on his Twitter, and he is going to go be a Wolverine. I think that he had a buddy that was also committed to, or was already on the team, I think, up there from Michigan. So I think that there was kind of a full court press, on him to go ahead and jump in.
You look at a couple, pretty high profile D-line misses now for Jalen Williams, Carlin Jones. You mentioned Nebraska's board is pretty thin. How important is it now that the guys on the roster pan out? And is this a position where Nebraska might have to do some, under the radar, behind the scenes developmental work instead of taking big swings?
I'm interested to see, obviously, which way they kind of go with it. And that would be one of those things, obviously, that they could do. They could decide to kind of dig deep. What are some guys that have some upside here? What are some guys that potentially are a little bit, need some polish, guy that didn't maybe necessarily play at the highest level. We have some doubts on him, but let's go ahead and bring him in anyway. I think you would like to bring those guys in for camp, first of all. I think that's kind of a critical thing to kind of do. But, and Nebraska does have, some defensive ends, some defensive linemen kind of coming in. Like I just confirmed, I think it was last night or the night before, that Malcolm Simpson was coming in from Hitchcock, Texas. Jaden Lofton's coming in. He's really more of like that stand-up, edge kind of guy, though, not like a hand in the dirt dude. Maybe like a Sean Hammerbeck becomes, more of a defensive lineman prospect for Nebraska. I think that there's things that they can do here, but it's a little thin. I would say, and obviously Michael Riles is coming in, and Keith Pazierzik is coming in too, but Cade's had a couple really nice visits the last 2 weeks to Oklahoma this last weekend and Wisconsin the week before. I think the competition's really ratcheted up for him too. So, it'll be interesting to see what Nebraska does now.
Brian, I know you've covered these guys. You probably will a little bit more in depth in the future, but a couple quick hitters for you here. Davion Bonwell-Witt. You look at Tyrell Russell, and then finally at J.J. Dunnigan Jr. Which one of those guys do you think would be highest on Nebraska's board?
Well, I'll tell you what. I've talked to Dunnigan. Interesting guy, longer dude, 6'2.5", listed as a safety, but played a lot of off-man kind of coverage today at Nebraska. So, border state kid, but so is Bonwell White. Bonwell White, 2026 wide receiver. I think Nebraska really is trying really hard to make sure that all the border states kind of feel like they're extending the borders as much as Nebraska can to pick up those states and make them feel like they're really, local targets. So that kind of explains, the offers out there to Bonwell, Whitty and to Dunnigan. But I think if you're really kind of pressing me to it and you're kind of saying which one of these guys, is kind of that top kind of tiered target for him, it's really hard to argue against Bonwell Whitty right now, just because he has a Nebraska offer, he's got a Kansas State offer, he's got an Oklahoma offer. He's getting some other interest, obviously, from like Iowa State, and obviously the local schools too. But I think it's Hudson Parliament, though. Interesting dude. Another guy out of South Dakota picked up an offer this last weekend as well. So I've got a story coming on Dunnigan, on Bonwell Whitty, and Hudson Parliament here in the next 24, 38, 36 hours. So keep it over there on Husker Online. I got a lot of stories coming up.
There you go. Husker Online. Make sure you're following there. Subscription is worth every penny. I know I've been a subscriber for a while. Really recommend you do the same. Brian Munson, Brian Munson _ on Twitter. Thanks as always for joining us here, Brian. Stay cool if you can. Have a great rest of your week, man.
Hey, go Mavs. Let's go. Come on, Strick.
I know, bro.
Later, man.
There he is. Brian Munson joined us on our Allo Fiber VIP line, where they understand what, Stricky?
The making sure you have great local heart with love.
Ain't that the truth? Appreciate Allo Fiber for what they do, Channel 961 and our VIP line. We'll go to break, wrap things up with the crossover next.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. $93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor at just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you look at Nebraska baseball, I mean, a 40-win season, best pitching in the Big Ten, above average offense for the Big Ten. You go to regionals, far and away the best pitching staff, but a good half a run below even the third worst offense in that regional. When you look at Nebraska baseball, is that a program that needs to improve the pitching first or the lineup first to be able to make more of a dent in the postseason?
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time here during On the Block. Go around the horn. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland, DP, and Megan in the studio here. DP, welcome in.
Afternoon.
Indeed it is. Some breaking news on the Twitterverse out in the world. Adrian Martinez, your UFL MVP.
Your boy.
How about that?
He's been my I took more stray bullets during the Adrian Martinez era because I said it wasn't a talent thing. It's the burden you put on that young man. The way he had to play here with the talent around him required that he be asked to do too much.
Superhuman.
Like, you just asked him to do too much. And Strick, it's the difference of it's one thing to ask you to guard Yao Ming, but I can't ask you to give me 24 a night while you're guarding Yao Ming while you're 6'3". Like, right. Dude, okay, like, I'll take a win, but I can't ask Adrian Martinez to be that player at the University of Nebraska.
Yeah.
And that Adrian Martinez was almost good enough to beat Michigan here by himself. And he just coughed it up at the end of it. But it doesn't make his talent less heroic. What he did here, that dude, man, his body, the beating he took while he was here.
That jaw.
Oh, they talk about, like, the players of that team talk about how tough he was and what he had to go through. And so I'm thrilled for him. Not only because he's earned it, but his ability to shut off the nonsense, to listen to all the naysayers and all the haters. Well, he's a professional MVP because of his talent, and I couldn't be happier for him.
For reference, on the season, he had about 175 passing yards per game over 10 games. Had a 53 rushing yards per game, and then 18 total touchdowns. Led the league in rushing yards. Mm-hmm. Right, talk about taking something off his plate. Right, hey, when I don't have to run as much, I'm a really good passer. But guess what? He leads the league in rushing. Still contributes 18 touchdowns. I mean, what a story, right? That's why we love sports. It's why we love the addition of a second league like the UFL. If Adrian doesn't get some NFL looks moving forward, that's on the NFL.
Well, I know I've already gotten calls from NFL scouts that want to know, okay, what's the real deal? Look, the issue wasn't that he ran. Being defended in the Big Ten Conference as a running quarterback is different than in the pros. Those corners, those defensive backs, different responsibilities in the big league. They defend the 10 different in professional football than they do in the Big Ten. Big Ten, 11 hats, 11 heads. That's just how they defend it. And so, yeah, the fact that you have one less defender in the box, anybody with an iota of football IQ knows that 11th man out the box makes Adrian Martinez a problem. Mm-hmm. So Strick can tell you, when you're ahead above everybody else athletically on the football field, one less hat in the box.
Oh, yeah, it makes a difference.
Hey, let him cook, man.
Well, just on that perspective, man, we all know that there was a merger, USFL and the XFL coming together to pull this off. How do you think they did? Was it the right move at that time in that space to do it? Is it a sustainable model? But it's good for him to be the inaugural, which is a blessing for him and potentially his career, hopefully down the road. But what overall do you think the UFL can provide?
It was tougher this year than it was the previous 2 years because you didn't have those pancake players at the end of the roster, right? You're talking about you removed half of the extra fluff of the two leagues. The bottom half players of those two leagues they're not in the league. And it's tougher to play in that space because the NFL was more purposeful in relegating folks or delegating folks to that space. And I think the partnership is the next thing because there is no true minor league or development for the NFL. Well, it's a great move when you could run similar offenses, similar spaces. It's the difference, Strick, from the basketball side. The difference between the ABA, CBA, and the G League. Mm-hmm. This is the G League version as it should appear later. And it also opens the door for franchises like Birmingham, who really think they're an NFL Sunday city, to step up and show out. San Antonio, like it's a thing. Like there's certain cities that feel like, you know what, we deserve a shot, we deserve a look, and Birmingham's legit in it. So yeah, I think it's a win. Sustainable.
Even from the start, Birmingham's been pretty much where they wanted to make it a mainstay.
Man, to go through and understand what it is you're trying to do. DC has done the other thing, but that allows another franchise. What happens now? So DC has a franchise. Okay, cool. But you could take that organization and put it in, I don't know, Omaha, Salt Lake City, like Sacramento. There are places for this where you can look at Memphis to give Nashville a real partner. So yeah, if I'm the UFL, I model a lot of my business decisions on how the NFL was doing work so that they start to pay attention. Remember, the ABA was just an idea and a construct. And then they picked the top teams and organizations and players from the ABA and merged with the NBA. That's kind of how it works.
For reference, Birmingham 9-1 led that division. Second place team Michigan was 7-3. Best record in the league though, 9-1. Two teams in the XFL division also went 7-3. Let's switch gears here real quick. I'm sure you and Jay will talk about this on Old School DP. Dan Hurley turning down the Lakers. Say more about UConn or say more about the Lakers?
Are you laughing at the Lakers or are you laughing at...
That's 70 million said nah.
Listen, I told you, I don't know my number, right? So I'm blessed in that way. I don't know what 70 million, I don't know what that universe is like. I don't understand, like 10 million a year to do a thing that I'm already doing in that space. Wow. Like that leads, hey.
Top three would have been.
Like you got to ask, like, man, what is happening?
Yeah.
What is strict?
Top three.
Listen, I love you to death, but if they call you and offer you 10 million, look, I'm gonna meet you at the door. I'm gonna pack your stuff for you. I'm gonna pack your stuff for you. Straight, see you.
Yeah, that's
dude. I don't. It's Hurley, and maybe he knows that a better opportunity is coming because this is the devil he knows at UConn. The media in Connecticut is not the same as Los Angeles. I don't need people in my garbage. I don't need people in my emails. I don't need people showing up like that. Like that.
But here's the piece, though, Jay.
Yeah.
I mean, not Jay, but DP. Here's the other piece. 50 UConn, 70 LA. The math ain't mathing.
Well,
like if you could say maybe 100 LA, maybe, but now even still, it's a different animal.
You know, strict.
That 20 million different ain't really mathing when you're talking about.
Well, I mean, it's LA.
Yeah,
it's the Lakers. Like that's franchise one.
Right.
One. It doesn't matter.
2 years for you.
It doesn't matter who wins
Kentucky
the title.
too.
It doesn't matter who the champion in the NBA is. The Lakers are franchise 1A in the NBA. But with that, it's the same thing that's said about Nebraska football. That equal money to come to Nebraska and deal with the media here is different than, say, I don't know, 98% of Power 5 football, because there's more folks in the media, more folks talking, more people in your business, more people, minding the bars and the nightclubs. You could get away with that in other places.
Right.
Like you can listen. I mean, you go to Rutgers, there's 4 people in the media room, bro. It's like you get steak. They don't even care. Like there's no budget. So if it's the Lakers, and the funny thing is, like, we're seeing some of it bounce back to the Big Ten because Big Ten media is coming up. And what it has been for the past few years versus what I'm hearing, who's coming to Indy to cover the Big Ten this year because of UCLA and USC. KTLA is coming, and they bringing a whole squad. You think the Big Ten, you think Nebraska has really pondered that it's now number 9 or 10 in the Big Ten as far as importance and priority? Like that's not why they joined. They got mad because they were number 2 behind Texas. You think they they were not expecting to have to look at the Trojan horse and the Oregon Nike swoosh and I don't know, the Huskies
and Microsoft.
Like we not really sure. That was not the plan. So it's always the other thing, the media side of it and the hype and the exposure and the number of people with their hands in your pocket. Recruiting is different, Strick. Parents are different. The money's different because for them final 12 spots on the roster, that's somebody's uncle writing a multi-million-dollar check to get Johnny on the practice squad at USC because he's, I don't know, a billionaire movie maker.
Yeah.
Do you want it? And we're talking basketball in LA. You want to deal with that?
Yeah.
You want to deal with the ghost, the living ghost of Magic Johnson looking over your shoulder? Like,
yeah.
What do you
even Will?
Like just staring at you like
Kobe.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. There's a lot.
It's a lot to
At
wait.
UConn, he's the king. He'll never be the king of LA.
That's a fact. And one
never
of the things
be.
I've always talked about is the cultural. Like, say what you will, dropping a New Yorker into an LA, come on, my boy. That's a Northeasterner, not even a New Yorker, but just a Northeasterner.
Austin, if you ever get
a
chance, this is the thing I would commit to you, to have you go to UConn. And actually,
let me just state for the record,
yes,
clearly and definitively,
UConn
has not played Duke over these title runs. It is paper tiger championships.
Get your man.
That's
your boy.
Get your man.
That's your boy.
Get your man.
Austin Orman.
Get your
DP's
man.
boy.
Get your man.
Hey, speaking of that, real quick here, 5604 on the text line says nobody wants to coach LeBum. And here's the thing. I know how you think about it, but here's the thing.
No, I'm just playing.
At that point, you've lost the plot. Even if Dan Hurley fails in the NBA, having coached LeBron and goes back to college, the amount of basketball he can learn, the amount of cachet that gives him in the college game to say, I coached LeBron, that's a little bit of a missed opportunity.
Listen. So Strick, stop egging on the nonsense. Because if they call Strick right now, and say, hey, Strick, come coach LeBron and the Lakers, bro. You know what? There'd be a skid mark in the studio from Strick hitting the bricks. Deuces. He would be looking at look.
I don't even know if I want that smoke, man.
Strick.
I don't even know if I want that
I
smoke.
know you would.
But I might go for the GP. I might just go for the GP.
Look. Megan Walker would go coach them. Like, listen, she's qualified and credentialed the moment she shows up and says yes. Your value goes up.
I get to see T. Lou.
Look, and you
put him in his place
What's
again,
up,
right?
my boy? I'm busting yo.
Yeah, right. Like, don't you want to know?
Yeah.
Don't you want to? Every guy in the NBA. Damn. Right. But you know what? Here's the thing. But what why I want that to happen is because I need 40-year-old LeBron to just walk on the court and drop the ball in front of Strick and say, hey, coach, what you got? And I know that when they're done, both of them are going to be better.
That is true.
So
listen,
he's blowing heat. He's blowing heat over here. But let me get to the real. Erick Strickland would be out.
I might be on the first thing.
Yeah. Look, we ain't never had a charter pull up on the building 11-0. We had that Lakers private plane pulling up in here.
Oh man,
private helicopter right there.
Listen, man. We would have Laker gear immediately.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Yeah, I understand your point, but no.
That part.
Man, that's a great way to end off a rousing Monday edition here of On the Block. It's been fun, all sorts of stuff we talked about. Plenty more coming later in the week. Who are Husker fans rooting for and against in the College World Series? Field will be set. Sure, we'll get into more NBA Finals as well with the series shifting to Dallas. For Strick, for DP, for Megan, I'm Austin. Don't go anywhere. We got Old School coming up next year on 93.7.
That's a fact.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland.